baseline.
Hello everybody and welcome. So this video was a bit of an accident. I came up with the idea from working on another idea, go figure, which I will be uploading soon. So let's jump right into it. How strong is Gaara? Well, he's stronger than Naruto. Thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoyed this video and... okay, I'm just kidding. But for real, how powerful is he? Well, I began by examining Gaara's fight with Datara. Now you might be wondering why I picked a part so early in the show, since we know for a fact that Gaara gets much stronger as the show progresses on, especially during the war arc period. Well, let me explain. So during my research for the other mystery video, there came a point where I needed to find out Gaara's exact limits. So I started looking around on YouTube, and surprisingly enough, I couldn't find any videos on the subject. In fact, the only thing I could find on the matter was the Toph vs. Gaara by Death Battle, and a video debunking that video by Seth the Programmer. So it seemed I had to find out an answer for myself. So during that battle, there came a point where Datara tried to blow up the sand village with his C4 clay explosion. And he states that this explosion will completely destroy the entire village. And we already know that Gaara summons a huge sand shield to protect the village, and the shield completely tanks the attack, and everybody is saying, "Yay, hooray for Gaara!" And if you don't know that, then why are you watching this? Go watch Naruto Shippuden. Go! Right now. And then come back. So, figuring out how powerful the explosion is. Well, first I measured the sand village, which came out to be about 8,053.5 feet in length, or about roughly 1.52 miles. Then, using a handy dandy tool called the Nuke Map, I was able to figure out two things. This and that. So the first one could be considered more of a high ball, and the second a low ball for the explosive power of Datara's C4 bomb. So the first is a 1,430 kiloton nuclear explosion, and has a 20 psi range for about 1.52 miles. The estimated range of our sand village. Now, the 20 psi overpressure, if you don't already know, can destroy even heavily built concrete buildings, has a nearly 100% fatality rate. This is a bit of an overkill actually, because most of the buildings aren't even made of concrete, they're made of some kind of weird sand, clay molding stuff. And the whole village is encircled within a huge cliff, which would help to contain the explosion and would cause massive avalanches from all sides of the village. So the village's greatest strength would become their biggest downfall. And it would only help to add to the devastating destruction of the already massive explosion of the C4 bomb. Now this is sounding a bit ludicrous to you of how actually powerful it is. Well, then here's the low ball, which only comes out to about 154 kilotons. Now this is for a 5 psi range of 1.52 miles. 5 psi overpressure, being able to collapse most residential buildings, but having just a widespread fatality rate, nothing really specific, and only being a standard benchmark for causing medium damage to cities. Now this is seeming a little bit of a too low ball for the explosion. Just remember that, as I said before, the entire village is encircled within a huge cliff, thus containing the explosion, making it more effective, and will cause avalanches from all sides of the village. So now that we have that out of the way, which one of these two is more likely? Well, to figure that out, I looked at the size of the fireball of the explosion, and as you can see, the fire is shown only being a couple buildings wide. Although it doesn't actually touch the ground because of course Gaara catches it with his sand shield and instead detonates in the air, but even so we can still tell from this shot right here that it gets pretty darn close, and is still probably nowhere near the massive 1,950 foot fireball that it should be. Now this doesn't mean that Datara's bomb couldn't destroy the Leaf Village, and that he was just bluffing this whole time. Because Datara's bombs aren't nukes, they're chakra-infused clay. So the kind of fireball it produces is going to be completely different from any ordinary explosion. This just means that it's probably more likely that the C4 bomb is the low ball of 154 kilotons, and not the massive 1,430 kiloton explosion. But what does this all mean for Gaara? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this means that even after 7 whole minutes of fighting non-stop, having bombs after bombs thrown in your face and nearly dying, and still having enough strength to stop the 154 kiloton explosion and still move the massive sand shield out of the village so not to fall and crush everybody. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Gaara's limit. And that is just the bare minimum as 154 kilotons plus, because that's not his limit. That's just as much as I could figure out from that one fight. Gaara is definitely more powerful than just a 154 kiloton explosion. This would easily make him the strongest out of all the 5 Kage. But, yes, sadly, there is a but. If this is Gaara's limit, then there is another feat that happens during the early war period that doesn't make any sense. And that would be this scene right here. So there's a helpful video out there that I watched not too long ago that explains what would have happened if Madara's giant meteorites that he used had actually hit the ground, and what would be the equivalent force. And it only came out to about 5.9 kilotons of explosives. I will be leaving a link to the video in the description. So, wait just a second here. Madara summons 2 giant rocks from the sky, right? To smash the Shinobi Alliance and kill everybody. And Inoki, the little dude, flies up to meet the oncoming meteorite, uses the Lighten Boulder Jutsu to try and stop it, but it's still falling. It's not working. Oh no, what are they gonna do? But then here comes Gaara! Summons 2 huge sand hands to catch it, and success! But of course, you already know that he's capable of far more impressive feats than this. This is nothing. He can bloody block 154 kiloton nukes for crying out loud. But then Madara's like, what? But hey, what are you gonna do about the second one? Man, Madara, you don't know what you're talking about. This guy right here can easily catch 50 of these dumb little rocks. Well then, sit now, master. Prove it. Pfft. Watch and learn, dude. As you can see right here, Gaara is... Gaara? Gaara! What are you doing? Dude, catch it! Use your sand shield thing! Come on, what? Okay, guys, as you can see, Gaara's power difference very much changes from the fight with Deidara, from whenever he's over here trying to catch the giant meteorites. So, what's up here? What's the difference? What's going on? Well, the simple answer is that the only reason, the only explanation I could find, besides the writers not really taking this into account, but I'm sure that's not the case, is that the Gaara that fought Deidara and was able to tank that 154 kiloton explosion with the giant massive sand shield was a Jinchuriki, and the one that tried to catch the meteorite wasn't. Now, I'm not trying to say that Gaara is nothing without his tailed beast, but this is the only explanation. And if this is true, then that means the only reason that Gaara was able to stand up against any of Deidara's massive explosions was the fact that he was a Jinchuriki at the time. And that as soon as he wasn't, he had a massive power decrease from that whopping 154 kiloton explosion plus power to only having a 5 kiloton maximum limit. And actually not even that, because you have to remember that Inoki used the Lighten Boulder Jutsu. So it's probably not even that. That's pretty sad if you think about it. But that's not what this video is about. I'm not trying to downplay Gaara. No, okay? Because we already know that Gaara, from that point, gets much stronger as we go on in the fight with Madara, you know, and the rest of the Kage, and as the war continues, and yeah, lots of significance. I'm not a Gaara hater. Not, okay? He's awesome. But it's just really sad to think about that Gaara is nowhere near that powerful. Now, of course, in the future, in Boruto Next Generation and everything, that of course he gets much more powerful. And in fact, what would be actually a really cool video that I might do in the future, maybe like a part 2 video, is how does Jinchuriki Gaara face off? What if, like, how does he compare to future Gaara in Boruto after the war? How does he compare? That'd be a pretty interesting video. But anyways, now that you guys know the answer, that Gaara is actually way more powerful than anybody ever thought. But anyways, yeah, at least you know that he's, pretty darn powerful. Sith Art Master